Welcome to your daily focus for November the 30th, 2022. Watch impulsive decisions today, impulsive spending today. We'll get to that and all the extra energy that goes along with it. It should be a beautiful day, but we really need to watch where we step. Let's start at the beginning. Let me introduce myself to you. I'm Tilly. This is Tarot with Tilly, and thank you. Thank you truly for all the positive, loving, supportive energy you send my way each and every day. Now we start with the 30 energy, and 3 plus 0 is a 3. Really, it's just a more potent energy of the 3. It's transformative. It's about celebration. It's about successes coming in. So really look at where you want to transform your life, where you want successes to happen, where you want celebration. It's also a beautiful time to let your creativity flow. And you will see amazing results when you do that under a 30 energy. Now, if we do the numerology of the day, it is a 20 energy. And that means it's turning points. We get clarity. We take in knowledge. We see the path forward. We make some decisions to step into new beginnings, new starts, new ways of doing, being, becoming. And today, Venus, and actually, I think it's tomorrow morning, but very early, so we should be feeling the energy today. Venus is in opposition to Mars, which is in retrograde. We could get jealous quite easily. Passions can run extremely high. Impulsive decisions, that is definitely going to affect your finances or your relationships in one way or another. So rein that in today. And we'll try to maybe even label our desires. And we won't really be able to today. We'll be all over the place when that happens. So we get a lot of mixed signals from the universe, from God or angels, what we're looking at, what we're hearing, what we're doing. So mixed signals right now. We could become very restless, very frustrated with the process and how things are going. Know that this is only a transit in the sky, and you really are on firm footing. Okay? Let's get to the cards. But did I even tell you where the sun and the moon were? The sun is in Sagittarius. The moon is in Pisces. So even though we have that fire energy of Sag happening, Pisces usually wants to take us back a little bit, to dream a little bit, to look inwardly and understand ourselves from the inside out, rather than looking out there for the answers, the knowledge, the wisdom. To look within. Okay, our shadow card for today is the Knight of Wands. The Knight of Wands is, you reach a certain path, a part in your path, where you dismount. You dismount off that stallion. You take a deep breath. It's time to take a deep breath before you go forward. It's time to, be grateful for where you are and what you've gone through in order to get to the here and now. But more importantly, you are talking to God, your angels, your spirit guides, the cosmos, the universe, that divine energy, your higher self, about your straight path forward, about what you expect, about what you want, about what you need. So this is the time to say, I need your protection. I need your support. I need you to help me bring things into being as I need them so that I can go forward on this path. So, like I said, the Pisces moon will ask us to pull back a little bit. And it's a beautiful thing if you are meditating today or praying or just sitting in quiet contemplation to look at those things in your life of where you want to step forward and have a conversation about the things that you will need surrounding you in order to feel strengthened, in control perhaps, willing to take a risk on yourself, willing to step outside the boundaries, willing to color outside the lines, willing to take a risk on you. Okay, our first card is the Three of Cups. I kid you not, the Three of Cups. So here's our 30 energy. Here's our 3 energy. It is about getting together. It's about celebration. It's celebration of successes or good news comes in, and you're just celebrating the news itself. This is about getting together with people for giggles and laughter and creating it in our lives, bringing joy in, bringing laughter in, bringing dancing in. Okay, so I think, what was it, yesterday or the day before? I told you, just put on some music while you're listening to my video and start dancing, okay? And get that 10 or 15 minutes in of dancing while you're listening to me. So don't have the music too loud so you can't hear me because you want to hear the message of the day. But just to get that blood pumping, just to get that blood flowing, get that charge going, and then dive into whatever you wanted to get done today. Okay, it's about celebration. It's about good news could come in. It doesn't necessarily mean it's your good news, but you do want to celebrate it regardless of what it is. I think for the majority of us, we get some kind of good news, or we get a good vibe, a good feeling about where we're going or who we are or what we want to step into. The Tower card. The Tower card is all about awakenings. Now, I kind of like this because I look at it, and if you can imagine that circle is you. Okay, we build walls around ourselves all the time, and for very good reason, right? To protect ourselves, to keep ourselves safe. Absolutely, we do. And we should do those kinds of things. But we also have to start recognizing when that wall can come down. Because sometimes we just put up the wall and we leave it, and it actually works against us after a while. The other thing I like about this is I always talk about that glass ceiling. And look at, we blew that glass ceiling right out. There is no more glass ceiling. The sky is the limit. So there's this belief in ourselves that we can go forward. There's a belief in ourselves that we can step into our tomorrow, our best life ever. Now, this card usually denotes a theme of part of your life or something in your life being pulled away. And we always think the negative with that. And I will go to my one viewer who left the most amazing comment one day and said, hey, winning a lottery would make a lot of my life fall away right now. So it's not necessarily a bad thing. It's really not the situation at all. It's how we view the situation. Do we view it as something negative or something positive? A lot of times in our life, something very negative happens to us, and it leads us towards these paths of success that we never would have stepped on without that initial experience. We didn't see it at the time, but when we look back, we go, if that didn't happen in my life, I probably wouldn't be here today doing this. Thank goodness that happened to me. But sometimes it takes us a very long time to say thank you for those things in our life. Sometimes we don't even put 2 and 2 together and we never send up the thank you. But the Tower card is here to say parts of your life do have to fall away in order for you to make the room, okay? We're talking about those big dreams. We're talking about those big desires. We're talking about those big wants, those big asks. We're asking for ginormous things, not those little things. We are expanding our horizons. So remember this card in play here, okay? To ask for that straight path, to give gratitude for what you do have, to not just get sucked right into the drama of what might be happening to you or right to the negatives of what could be the next step and beyond. And sometimes it's very hard not to concentrate on those things because those things look like the priorities. But your happiness, your sense of love and joy are really the true priorities, okay? Our third card today is, look at this, the Eight of Swords appears. Our perception changes. We hear something, we see something, we read something, we learn something. And all of a sudden it's like, wait a second. That means... Now, we could hear things, a little bit of gossips, and all of a sudden our passions are running high. We're very jealous all of a sudden. We're pitting our wants against and our desires against each other. Like, if I didn't want this, then this wouldn't be an issue, or I could do this. And just back it up a little bit. Back it up a little bit. Take off that blindfold. Because where you thought you couldn't go forward, you see now that you can. So some kind of clarity comes in, and maybe the clarity is the thing that you're going to celebrate. Like, I know what to do now. I've been bumping around like I'm in a pinball machine, except I'm the pinball. You get that clarity, you get that understanding, you get that knowledge, that knowing of where you need to step. And maybe you don't even know how to step in that direction yet, but you can see it. You have a realization of it. You feel it in the pit of your gut. You hear your soul whispering to you, your inner child celebrating, right? Come on, let's dance about this. So very much our perceptions could change today. Where we thought we couldn't go forward, where we thought we were trapped, where we thought we were, sitting there with the chain and the anchor on, we could go nowhere. We could actually go somewhere this whole time. We just didn't have the clarity, the knowledge, and the understanding to do just that. Okay, we'll get a mantra card. So I would have to say go with the flow today. Be very mutable today. What do we got? Sagittarius and Pisces. A Sag is mutable and Pisces is mutable. So it'll be very easy for us to be mutable. Now it's fire energy and water energy. Well, water puts out fire, right? So our dreamland could take us, if we dream in the wrong way, could just completely extinguish that fire, that motivation, that passion that we have. So we have to keep a mixture of the two going, right? We don't want all fire. We'll just burn our bridges and burn ourselves out in the process. So going with the flow, even if it doesn't look like it lines up to anything that you're thinking about, don't just shut the door on it. I'm not saying say yes to it. I'm saying give it some thought. It might just be the exact thing that you've been looking for all this time. Okay, our mantra card for today is intuition. Trust your intuition. I kid you not. It's amazing how this deck works with everything. With the numerology and the astrology. It rarely lets us down, does it? Intuition. Trust your intuition. And I've had people say to me, my intuition, if my intuition tells me to do that, I do the exact opposite and I'm good every time. But we were never taught how to listen to ourselves. We were told that we had to listen to other people in order to make it in this world. Listening to ourselves was dumb because we didn't know enough. So we're not taught how to listen to ourselves, how to go inside and receive or retrieve the knowledge, the wisdom that we do carry around with us. Absolutely. I truly do believe that in our DNA is wisdom that we can tap into. But we were never taught this. We were never even told this. In fact, we were told the exact opposite in most situations. So it's retraining ourselves, retraining our brain, retraining our muscles. So practice your intuition. If you get a text, try and figure out who that text is from. Okay, if you're, me and my dad, when I was a little kid, we'd sit on the front porch. And we had a highway that we could see. We can't see it anymore. It's all overgrown in front, which is nicer for, in my eyes. But at that time, it would have sucked for our game. And we would say, okay, so, and in those days, the highways weren't as busy as today. You could actually count the cars, okay? So we'd both pick a direction, and we would both pick which way we thought more cars were going for the next 2 minutes or something. And we'd count the cars that went by and kept tallies, and if somebody was a winner. And Sometimes my dad would, like, really get big spending, and he'd say, "Okay, we're going to bet a penny on this." Anyways, so but it's using your intuition. In a way, my dad was teaching me how to use my intuition by thinking, okay, in the next 2 or 3 minutes, which way do I think more cars will be traveling? And then picking a direction and seeing if I was right. You know, let's say you work with somebody every day. Try and figure out what color they're going to be wearing when you walk through the door, if color is an option, or how they're going to be wearing their hair, or what's the first thing that's going to be said when they walk through the door, or you walk through the door to greet them. Is it going to be some good news? Is it going to be some bad news? Are they going to be in a grumpy mood? Are they going to be in, and start just using your intuition, and just fun little games like that, and start working that muscle. And before you know it, your intuition is going to say, pay attention, pay attention. You're going to go, okay, oh my gosh, I never would have saw that. So your intuition is an inherent gift to you. It is your infinite and divine intelligence guiding you in all ways, in your thoughts, words, dreams, and deeds. Everyone has intuitive abilities that need to be put into practice when facing challenges. You may experience this as a gut feeling or perhaps a hunch. Practicing and exercising your intuitive abilities can strengthen these gifts, which can give you the advantage when making decisions. Developing your intuitive abilities is probably one of the most valuable things you will ever do for yourself. Intuition is a very accurate guiding force in all aspects of life, and can contribute to your success and fulfillment. The mantra is, I trust my intuition to guide me in all areas of life. I trust my intuition to guide me. So once again, going with the flow based on our emotion, what we're feeling, what we're taking in, going with the flow. We'll get an animal card here. And we have the eagle, mastery. The eagle shows up today. Talk about a beautiful strength coming into our life. You are on a spiritual journey beyond the sky. Let go of the past and soar. You are guided by the winds of spirit. Your wisdom inspires the world. So you are on a spiritual journey above the sky. Okay, so it's about, you ever see an eagle soar or glide above the clouds, with the clouds, over the mountaintops, just in complete control of their bird's eye view to the ground? And feeling that, I noticed when I was going over this one bridge, it was a very, very long bridge because it was through the ocean. And all of a sudden I noticed, and I've been over this bridge a few times now. So this was something new that I had seen. And it was kind of a windy day, and it was early in the morning. The sun was rising. It was just so beautiful. So the sun's rising on the ocean, and I see the seagulls up there. I know we all think, oh, the seagull, but seagull in flight is just a beautiful bird when they're up there in nature. Okay, because they're all white. They're just gorgeous, right? They're not really big, but they're not really small. Anyways, and I saw them, and they were just hovering there. They were catching like a crosswind that would just keep them up there. And you passed 3 doing it here, and then there was 2 over there, and there was 5 over there, and they were all up there to maybe greet the morning sun, but all just allowing the wind to keep them up there. So it must have been some kind of crosswind or something that they obviously know about that I didn't know about, and I'm sure it wouldn't hold me up there. But and I'm sure it was just pure enjoyment and being in the moment and pure enjoyment. So when's the last time you've experienced something in nature and just completely have been in the moment and forgot everything else? And maybe it was a kitten playing, or a puppy, or a dog, or a horse, or a bunny rabbit. I saw it. So the other day, me and my son were coming home late at night, and this beautiful owl came out of nowhere and swept right in front of my windshield. And he was the span, give or take maybe this much. He covered my windshield, and he just went right up. My son was like, "What was that, Mom?" And then about 3 seconds later, we saw this little fox go across the road. I still haven't had time to look up, the symbolism of seeing those two so close together, but the owl coming right. It was like timing, like we came across the dance floor together, and as I went forward, they swooped up, and it was breathtaking. So I've got all these bird things happening in my head now. So let go of the past and soar. And this is really a time when we want to let go of the past. We want to leave the past in the background. We want to cut the strings of what holds us back, to go forward. You are guided by the winds of spirit. So don't worry. They will make sure that you get to safe places if you trust in them, if you let them lead the way. Okay, your angels, your guides, your wisdom inspires the world. And you say, no, it doesn't. Well, maybe you just need to put yourself out there then. Until we meet again, remember, I do love you.